What's up, guys? It's Powerbang. A lot of you guys have been requesting a strategy guide using the Valkyries, and I aim to please, so what I've done is put together an attack for you using Valkyries in a clan war. Wanted to show you what types of bases you're looking for, the army composition that you'll look to bring, and exactly how you would attack a base for 3 stars using the Valkyries. Now, the specific composition that we're using is a GoVaLo attack, and that is going to be Golems, Valkyries, and Balloons as your primary components to the raid. Now, there are going to be a significant amount of wizards, but those are basically to help with the initial DPS into the base, helping with your funnel, and maybe helping out with the Archer Queen and Clan Castle troops. So, first off, what kinds of bases are we looking for when we're looking to utilize Valkyries? Now, you'll notice this big open core here. That's going to be the first thing you look for. Wide open spaces for Valkyries and defense buildings that are close together in that area. That's going to be prime time for the Valkyrie. Even better yet, if you can find bases with all of the air defenses in the core, such as this, and this, and then as a bonus, you've got expos here, and then you likely have many spots in here for Teslas. You're going to be able to wipe out all of the significant air damaging defenses in this core with your Valkyries. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for point defenses like this in the outside of the base. That way, when you bring in your balloons, you're able to quickly target these and take them out. So let's get into the Clan Castle lure, the Queen Kill, and all that. Now, the cool thing is with the GoVaLo strategy, you do not need to lure the Clan Castle, and you do not need to necessarily focus on the Queen. Ideally, you're going to enter the base on the Queen's side. You'll notice her skewed to this side of the base. So over on this side of the base would be your prime candidate for entry, because you do want to take that Queen out as quickly as possible, especially when you notice that she's a high-level Queen for a Town Hall 9 at level 24. So coming in from that side of the base is going to be ideal. In very quick summary, the goal for a GoVaLo raid is to create your funnel. You want to create a funnel into the base. Your goal is to kill the the Archer Queen and the Clan Castle with your Valkyries. Now, to do that, oftentimes you're going to have to drop a heal spell to keep them up during this process, a heal such as this. And then as you get your Valkyries into the core, you're going to want to make sure that those Valkyries are under rage, because a group of those pretty little redheads in a tight formation taking out these defense buildings, they will absolutely wreck a core in no time flat. So the goal is to get them into the core, and then ideally you want a heal spell up in the core as well to help them stay alive as long as possible, because not only will they take out this core very, very quickly, but as those Valks come out the other side, if they come out of the heal, they're going to be at full health. And what's very, very not commonly known, a max Valkyrie has more hit points than a level 7 giant. 1,200 hit points at level 4 for Valkyries, so they're tanky as heck. You basically look at Valkyries like this. I see so many people that have completely maxed troops, max spells, max everything, max base, and level 1 minimum level of Valkyries. And to me, that is ludicrous. These troops are so good. They basically have the hit points of a level 7 giant. They move as fast as a goblin. They do the splash damage of a wizard. I mean, what's not to like here? And they only, take up 8 housing space. I mean, that's absolutely insane. So, as far as your troop composition, you typically want to roll with 2 golems. Bring one in your army camps, one in your clan castle. Get a max one if you can. Now, how to do it as far as, where you drop them on this base, you'll notice there's 2 cannons on the outside of the wall. That's going to provide an ideal spot to anchor to with your golems. Drop one here, and then as they, are working their way in, they're going to be standing on these defenses. What you're going to want to do is then drop your wizards from the outside in. So one here, and then you're going to kind of want to drop them, heading towards the inside, because you want these buildings on the outside to go down first and kind of funnel your way towards the inside. Now what this does is this creates a runway, and where we want to jump off into this core, that's where you got to kind of identify where's the jump off point into the core. Now you'll notice this wall segment here can be jumped because it's only a 3 tile space, and that's no problem to jump that. So what we've done is we want to create a runway that is going to go specifically to this cannon. So the golems go in, the heroes are going to come in behind. Now once your heroes go in, we will go ahead and drop them here and here. That's going to be your archer queen and your barbarian king. Right after your heroes, go ahead and send in the Valkyries. And the order doesn't necessarily matter. You can send the VALKS in first, you can send the heroes in first, doesn't necessarily matter. So everything goes in. The Valkyries will target any building. They don't prefer defense, they don't prefer troops or anything like that, so they'll target anything, but they will prefer to stand in clusters of buildings. So if you find buildings, like if you look at this group here together, they're going to prefer to stand in between them. So remember that as they're targeting. If there are buildings side by side, like look at these buildings over here, they will stand in between them to do as much damage as possible. Same thing in the core. When they move into this area, they're going to stand in between these buildings and do splash damage to them. So that's crucial to know about the VALKS. But if you basically drop a heal on them leading into the core here, what I like to do is basically create my funnel. Just like that, they're going to jump in, and then immediately, as soon as the queen engages, especially if the queen has not locked onto a golem and she locks onto your Valkyries, you're going to want to make sure you get that heal down early. But the clan castle troops are going to be spilling out and heading for you at the same time. Just get a heal down. Make sure that they don't die prematurely, because you really need to make sure that they stay up into the core. Once the Valkyries and the heroes get into the core, you want to get a rage down to take as much area as possible out as quickly as possible. And then as they continue to progress, drop another heal, kind of keep them up in this core as long as possible. And then here's what you key on. So the spells are down, the Valkyries are moving through the core. What you're watching for is the air defenses to go down. So here and here will be the first 2 air defenses, because the attack's coming in from this direction. You're going to be keying on this air defense and this air defense, and as soon as those are just about to go down, you've got 8 balloons in your army composition here, and those balloons will start being targeted in to air targeting defense buildings such as these. You don't want to target the cannons, you don't want to target the mortars, you want to target the air targeting defenses. Archer towers, wizard towers. That's what you want to send your balloons at, because once those are dead, the mortars and the cannons, they can't touch you. So air defense is all down in the core. You've got Valkyries that are still standing in there. You've got golems that are still standing in there, and you've still got heroes up. All of those have extremely high hit points, and all of these point defenses on the outside of the base are firing into the core at your tanks. So the loons come in basically untouched, wipe out the back half of the raid as far as the defenses go, and then basically it's cleanup time. So that's what you're looking to do with Valkyries. Create your funnel, drop your golems to get that good spread. Make sure that you drop your wizards from the outside in, get the funnel started, drop your Valkyries and heroes towards a jump spell, or if you need to wall break in, that can be doable too. But a lot of times on these really big cored bases, you're going to see really exploitable locations that you can jump all the way into the core using one spell. So I recommend taking, looking at the number of Valkyries, you're going to take between 10 and 14 Valkyries, depending on the base and depending on how much troop space you have. I recommend taking between 8 and 12 wizards, somewhere in there. And that all depends on what you need to take out. It just kind of depends on the base. So between 8 and 12 wizards, and then as far as the balloons go, you can take anywhere from 4 to 10 balloons, and it just depends on, you know, the way the backside is laid out, where the defenses are, all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead, take a watch on this raid, see what happens. But you'll notice, first off, the golems are going to come down, and notice how they, you know, I set them wide, and then I send the wizards in right behind them to start working on that funnel. So on both sides, you'll see the wizards come down. Funnel's going to get started, and then you see them, you know, go from the outside in, and then as the buildings go down, notice the heroes come down to target that cannon. The jump spell goes down, and make sure you get the jump spell down before you release your Valkyries, because otherwise they're going to go running around the base. So the Valkyries come in, Golem takes the jump spell, you know, King walks on immediately, takes her out. The rage and the heal is up. Watch how quickly this core goes down. Boom, boom. Double giant bombs, doesn't phase the VALKS. They just mow through. Everything's going down. They're tanking for the wizards. There's a second heal up. Notice all their hit points. And as these air defenses go down, notice the balloons coming in on the backside. That simple. On this backside over here, I did have to target the cannons first because they were outside of the base covering these air targeting defenses. And then as I kind of move over to the other side of the base, I do have a golem coverage over there that's, you know, tanking, and I wanted to buy time for that golem to work his way up. So, you know, everything's being tanked. The balloons are untouched. You know, they're going to basically go in and clean up the rest of this base. I've still got my Archer Queen at full health with her ability left. I've got several wizards, a few Valkyries left up. Both of my golems are unbroken. I mean, tons of tanking, lots of balloon firepower. I mean, this base was absolutely wrecked, and it had high-level heroes, you know, mid-level, mid-20s for the heroes. You know, absolutely completely destroyed. The Valkyries took out, check out the core, 4 giant bombs, the Valkyries 8, and there's still some left alive to tell the story. So that's how it's done, guys. GoVaLo, incredibly powerful strategy. Highly recommend using it. Hopefully this has been helpful. I will post back when I have another, you know, quality Valkyrie tutorial basically to show you guys. But as you can imagine, you know, not everybody has this style of base with that open core readily available to attack. This is a very base dependent strategy. You need to make sure that the Valkyries have room to work in a big core. One other thing to take note on, I restarted this to show you, if the air defenses are in different locations, say they're not in the core, but they are in the secondary defense ring. So say this air defense isn't right there, say it is here instead, and this one isn't there, but instead it is out here. This strategy can still be used because as the core gets cleaned out, all of this goes bye-bye. Your Archer Queen and your wizards basically move up, and then they take out the air defense from over the wall. As long as the air defenses are in range from the core by ranged troops like Archer Queen, your wizards, as long as they're in range, this strategy will be extremely effective with no exit jump spell or anything like that. One thing that you can do if you're not able to reach these buildings is basically to drop a heal spell and use just 1 heal, 1 rage, and then you can go with 2 jump spells, and then you could use an exit jump spell to lead your Valkyries out of the core on the other side. Again, all the base dependent. It really just depends on what is given to you. If, for example, the air defenses are outside of the core but in range, you just have to be a little bit more patient on your balloon drops, or start them further up the side so that they have a chance to take out these side defenses first that are out of range of these air defenses down here, and allow them a little bit of travel time while these air defenses get taken out by your ranged troops that are standing in the core. So that's going to be it, guys, for this tutorial on the GoVaLo strategy. Hopefully it's been helpful. This is Powerbang signing out. Let me know what you think in the comments. We'll check you next time.